I always knew I was the afterthought in my family, but this birthday was the confirmation I never wanted. I turned 35 on a Saturday. A Saturday. The kind of perfect weekend date you'd think your family might actually plan something, anything for. But when I texted our family group chat the week before just to ask if we were doing dinner or cake or anything at all, the silence was deafening. Then, the next day, my cousin Emily accidentally sent a photo in the group chat. She meant to send it to someone else. It was a screenshot of a wedding invitation, a wedding for a woman I didn't even know. I blinked at the image, stunned. The date was the same as my birthday. Same time. Same city. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video. I texted back, "Whose wedding is this?" My mother replied within seconds. "Just a colleague's daughter. It's a big event. All of us are going. You understand, right?" Understand that my birthday meant less than a networking opportunity? My father added, "Don't take it personally, sweetheart. This is important for your sister's job. The bride's father is connected." And there it was. My younger sister Danielle, always the golden one, the one who ruined my prom dress then cried her way out of blame. The one they called our star while I sat quietly in the background. The same sister who hadn't worked a day to earn her marketing position, but got it because my dad pulled strings. And now my birthday, my one day, was being skipped to schmooze with strangers because it helped her. I didn't even reply. I just sat there, feeling the old burn of invisible daughter syndrome creeping up my spine. The night of my birthday, I went to a small bistro alone. I ordered myself a slice of cheesecake with a candle. I lit it myself. I made a wish I'd never dared to make before. Let me rise. Let me be seen. Let me win. And the universe must have heard me, because the next morning I received an unexpected call. My old college friend Janelle, who'd moved into real estate development, said she had a venue deal falling through. A historic wedding manor on the city outskirts. Gorgeous, popular, and due to some financial mess on the owner's end, it was quietly up for sale. Off market. She knew I'd been investing in rentals and asked if I'd be interested in a bigger leap. Bigger? It was perfect. The price was high, but I'd been quietly growing my business while my family ignored me. I didn't buy new clothes. I didn't flaunt vacations. But I worked. Nights, weekends, side gigs. I flipped small apartments. I reinvested. I was smart, and I was ready. And now, the same week my family discarded me for some stranger's wedding. I bought the venue they'd be attending. Silently, swiftly. And when the final paperwork cleared 2 days before the wedding, I told no one. I simply waited for their faces. For the moment, the staff would quietly turn to me during the event. When I'd walk in, uninvited, unacknowledged, and change everything. The morning of the wedding, I woke up early, not out of excitement, but with a strange calm in my chest. It wasn't revenge that drove me, not entirely. It was something more potent. For the first time in my life, I had power. Quiet, invisible power. The kind my family didn't believe I was capable of having. And today, I wouldn't need to shout to be seen. I arrived at the manor early, hours before the guests. The staff had already been briefed. I met with the head coordinator, Lisa, a no-nonsense woman in her 50s who had worked at the manor for over a decade. She shook my hand and said with a half smile, "You want this handled clean or messy?" "Clean," I said, "but I want every second to be remembered." The team prepared the estate as planned. The ballroom was decorated in ivory and gold. Tall floral centerpieces stood like soldiers. The archway in the garden shimmered under the sun. The guests, most of whom didn't know me or even the bride, would be arriving soon. And among them, my parents, my sister Danielle in her too-tight dress, and a dozen relatives who never remembered my birthday anyway. I waited in the manager's office overlooking the entryway. From the window, I watched their cars arrive. My mom stepped out first, her hand on her pearls. She looked around the building with awe, no clue that her daughter, her forgotten invisible daughter, owned the ground beneath her feet. Then came my sister, arm in arm with some city executive she'd been trying to impress. She looked flawless, practiced, empty. She posed for pictures at the entrance like she was the bride. My phone buzzed, a message from Lisa. "Guests all seated. Your queue in 10. I stepped out and walked the long hallway leading to the ballroom. My heels echoed down the stone floor. With every step, I let go of the hurt. Every missed birthday, every time they called me dramatic, every moment I was told to be grateful for what you have. As I neared the ballroom, I signaled to Lisa, who clicked her mic and spoke calmly into the earpiece of every staff member. "Attention! Everyone, please welcome the owner of Belmont Manor, Ms. Elise Marston." The music cut, the chatter froze, the doors opened, and I walked in. Heads turned. At first, they didn't recognize me. I wasn't in my usual soft sweater and quiet flats. I wore a fitted black jumpsuit, simple gold jewelry, and confidence. Pure, unshakable confidence. My mother's wine glass paused mid-air. My father whispered something under his breath. Danielle tilted her head in confusion. "Elise?" someone finally asked. I nodded, stepping toward the center of the room. "Good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to thank you all for coming to celebrate the couple on their big day. Belmont Manor has always been a beautiful place, but as of this week, I'm proud to say it's under new ownership." A gasp rippled through the crowd. I could see it written on their faces. Not jealousy, yet. Confusion, shock, maybe even discomfort. My mother stood. "Elise, what? Is this a joke?" I smiled. "No, Mom. This is the business you said I wasn't smart enough to run. The one you said I was wasting my savings on instead of helping Danielle get ahead." Danielle blinked. "You own this place?" "I do. Bought it 3 days ago." The groom's parents looked nervous. The bride whispered something to her planner. But I wasn't here to ruin the wedding. I wasn't them. I was here to claim space, to take back the years they erased me. I stepped forward again. "And I just wanted to say thank you. If it weren't for all of you skipping my birthday for this event, I wouldn't have had the clarity I needed. So really, thank you for the gift." The silence was thunderous. Then, as I turned to exit, I added gently, "Oh, and drinks are on the house, for everyone." I left them there in that gold-draped ballroom, with their mouths open and their pride quietly bleeding on the floor. After I left the ballroom, I didn't turn back. I didn't need to see their reactions anymore. I'd seen it all in their eyes already. Shock, embarrassment, and that dawning realization. The daughter they'd written off had become the woman with the final say. I returned to the upstairs office, closed the door quietly behind me, and let the stillness settle over me. But it wasn't sadness anymore. It was peace. Lisa knocked once and poked her head in. That was one hell of a performance. I laughed softly. "Thanks." She grinned. "Your mother's trying to find you. Should I send her up?" I hesitated, then nodded. Just her. 2 minutes later, my mother walked in, her heels clicking nervously. She looked smaller in this room. Or maybe I'd finally stopped shrinking to make her feel tall. "Elise," she started, smoothing her skirt like it would help her control the conversation. "I didn't know you had done all this." "No," I said. "You didn't care to ask." She flinched, but I wasn't cruel about it, just honest. "I'm not here to fight," she said quickly. When did you buy this place?" 3 days ago. It was closing due to bankruptcy. I saw the opportunity and took it. You know, the kind of thing you always said I wasn't built for. She looked at the hardwood floor, quiet. "I didn't mean to hurt you by missing your birthday. It was just Danielle's friend was getting married and you didn't know the bride, Mom." Her lips tightened. "Well, we thought you'd understand." I stood. That's the thing. I always did. I always understood when you didn't come to my piano recital because Danielle had a date. I understood when you called my job cute while bragging about her internships. I understood when no one saved me a slice of cake at my own graduation party because you were too busy entertaining her friends. But I'm done understanding now. She took a shaky breath. "I didn't know you felt all that." That's the difference between being present and being polite. She looked up at me with wet eyes. "So what now? Are you cutting us off?" I walked to the window, looking down at the garden where Danielle was still trying to act like nothing had happened. Number, I'm not cutting anyone off. I'm just moving on. And your father? He'll hear it from you. Or he'll figure it out when the annual family party invitation gets returned with "no longer at this address" written on it. My mother blinked, stunned. You moved? I bought a lake house, quiet, private, and far from where I used to beg to be included. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Goodbye, Mom. She didn't say anything, just nodded, turned, and left. A month passed, then 2. I got a handwritten letter in the mail with no return address. It was from my father, apologizing, regretting, begging to be part of my life again. I didn't respond. Instead, I stood on the balcony of the manor on a warm spring afternoon, watching a new bride walk toward the altar in the garden, a bride I chose to support. I now used the venue not just for weddings, but for women like me, forgotten daughters, underestimated mothers. I gave them the spotlight their families tried to steal. My family skipped my birthday to attend a stranger's wedding. Now they get to watch their stranger daughter become someone they'll never be invited to stand beside again. Because I didn't just surprise them at the venue. I rebuilt my life, and this time they weren't on the guest list. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video.